It's showtime. What's up, historians? Welcome back to another great episode. I am your host, Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter, buried up to my neck here in snow. Well, not so much, but it's about 6-7 inches up here. It's coming down again today. And with the Wonderland here in Maine. So welcome back, Season 5, Episode 5, December 5th, 555. Uh-oh, close to the number of the beast. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We got a great episode today. Someone we've had on my show a couple times now. He is a UFOologist. He is a cryptozoologist, paranormal investigator, author. He's a podcaster, lecturer, and a pretty sexy, smart fellow. I tell you what, this guy's called me a couple times at Stephen King's house in Bangor because he's a fellow Maine native. He is Nomar. I want to believe this is podcast. Nomar Slevik. He is the man. He's got a lot going on. We're going to bring him right on. But before we do, happy Krampus Day, guys. Here's a shout out from one of my friends, Michael Bottino. He is a member of the Obscure Research and Paranormal team. He's also a director at September Brothers. So check it out real quick. Let's bring him on. I know what I'm doing. All right.
Hello. My name is Michael Bottino. I am the director in September Brothers Productions, one of the lead investigators of Obscure Research and Investigation and photographer of Shutter Obscura Photography. When I'm not taking pictures, filming movies, or sitting in the house till 3 in the morning waiting for one of my equipment to go off and make some funky noises, I am watching the historically haunted Vodcast with Adam Begin.
Oh, much love. I love that. I don't even pay for this shit either, which is good. Nomar, you're going to give me... Oh, Nomar's got me an intro. That's right. I do get an intro. I've played it before. He's given me a couple of intros as well. So without further ado, Brandon, what's up? Checking in from Virginia Paranormal. What's up, my guy? Checking in every week. Appreciate you, dude. Every fucking week. I was a guest last night on Spooky Japan podcast, live from Japan. It was like actually tomorrow morning. It's a day ahead there. So it was like in the future. But anyway, you tuned in last night, the whole show. I appreciate you. Heather, my girl. She loves Nomar. She loves herself some fucking Nomar. Who doesn't? Without further ado, his ears are ringing. Live from Middle Maine, right by big Stephen Kingville. Nomar Slevik, author, UFOologist. What is up, my guy?
Hey, Adam. How are you, my friend?
Winded introduction, brother. Sorry about that.
And, happy Krampus. Happy 555. Almost the mark of the beast.
Oh, Nomar, I don't know if you heard him. I was telling the folks about, last fall or whatever. I was up front of, the guy I stalked the most there, Stephen King's house, reading the book. And you and your lady there, Kiwi's Cryptid shows up. Nomar, he's like, I'm fucking him in front of King's house. So, man, I got to see you a couple times. I met you at a book show in Bangor. A couple years back. You signed my book. We got a selfie. And we've been kind of, pretty close ever since, I feel like.
This is my third time doing the show. I'm a threefer. I don't know if I'm the first threefer, but if so, that's cool.
Danny, what's up? The Radicals, you checked in last night. Appreciate you, Danny. I don't know if you know Danny or not. He makes
I know of Danny, and I'm excited to meet him and his lovely lady at Jeff's thing next year. That'll be cool.
I know. I just had the card here. There it is. There we go. Nomar's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Half my clients, Stacy Johnson, who played Pennywise, is going to be there. That's going to be a big show. But besides all that, brother, I want to start off. It's been a long time. How have you been?
I've been good, man. Been good, keeping busy. And just doing my thing. I like to keep my head down. I love being creative, and I love working on my stuff. And so the busier I can be in things that I enjoy, the better it is. So I've been going strong and busy. Released a single on my birthday, which was just a couple days ago. So I'm excited about that. And I'm currently working. Right. Thank you. I'm currently working on a new book, and that's going swimmingly. I think I'm like 6 chapters deep, which is wild. When I was writing the book that came out this year, UFOs Over Maine 10th Anniversary Edition, I had started working on it like 2.5 years ago, but I had this crazy deadline that I had to get it out in 2024 because that was, that's the 10-year mark. Because that would be insane to release a 10-year anniversary book in the 11th year.
Oh, dude,
so it was a crazy deadline to get stuff done. So now I'm just kind of writing like willy nilly, and and it's just nice to be free and not have a deadline and just do my thing. And I'm kind of whipping through it. It's pretty cool.
I'll say your nose to the grindstone on a lot of, if you guys can see that real quick. Can you see that? Let me see. Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Check them out. That's your only, you don't have like a writer's page that I've seen. It's just you, right? Well, you do have one page, right?
Yeah. I do have a Nomar Slevik author page, but it's just a pain in the butt for me anyways to, post on two different pages. Plus there's other social media. So I just have the one, Nomar Slevik, and that's where I do all my stuff. So yeah.
Perfect. You guys can find them there.
My girl took that picture.
Oh yes, Kiwi Cryptids. You guys follow Kiwi. I asked her to come on. She's a little bit more shy or whatever, but she does some good. Both you guys go on these trips. I follow you on Facebook, as you know, and you're always going to these trips. You take 7, 8 pictures when you're there, odd roadside attractions or just cool landscapes. You guys both have an art form for all that stuff. So I dig it, man. You're very much naturist, but you're paranormal too. But you're very
we like being outside. She's 1,000 times more talented than I am, so I just try to keep up. She's amazing at the stuff she does. So
yeah, you guys are a good team. Nate says, "What's up, Nomar? What's up, Adam? What's up, Nathan?"
Hey, Nathan, how you doing, man?
I think he's going to be there too in Augusta. He just signed with Newport Paranormal and his Static Voices. So yeah, a lot of people checking in from Augusta next. Yes, happy belated birthday to Nomar.
Nomar, thanks, Heather.
A couple days ago, so that's good.
yeah. I'm super old, man.
Fuck that. No, you're good, brother. But yeah, man, I obviously, if you guys get any questions for Nomar, he's got everything covered. He's in this field immensely on a lot of stuff. What is one of your, like? Of course, there's the triangle that I read about because of you. That's up by me in Maine.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I've been researching the paranormal, but I have a specific interest in extraterrestrial activity, and I've been collecting stories for like 20 years and going over just all of the official reports that are out there. I found that in this like 800 square mile area, so it's not technically a triangle, but you give the name triangle to anomalous areas, but it's like this 800 square mile area. And there were over 800 reports just in that area alone. And that's confirmed official reports. So that's not, it's almost like cockroaches. You see one, there's 20, hiding. That's like that's how like UFO or paranormal reports are. If there's one report, there's probably 10, 20 other sightings that go unreported. So we could be looking up to 2,400 reports in this one small area, 800 square miles. And so that's that goes up to like Skowhegan and down. It's crazy, man. All of the stuff that's in that area, and there's so much that in the new book that you just showed the cover of. There's a whole section about just all of the. It's really the most craziest encounters that happened in those areas. So it's pretty wild.
So and your stuff around the world, but you focus. Like Stephen King, you kind of focus on Maine because people don't realize Maine is, you can literally just live in Maine. You can get between everything. We got paranormal, ghost, aliens, you name it, Pamula, Wendigo, all that stuff. Yeah. But you talk about something I read about, the Palmyra werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
I read that story. You did a little bit about that. You've been to a place I used to go to when my mom was alive in Casco, Maine. You went to the big Casco Lookout place. You had the YouTube video of that stuff. So you've got the hot spots covered.
I try.
Because there's everything, huh? It's just
like this stuff. Yeah, there's a plethora of stuff that happens all the time, and I'm not really sure if it's because of 95% of the state has like a pristine view of the sky. So are people paying attention more, or what the deal is? But we have just a lot of reports in this state. And I could look elsewhere. I have done a book on somebody that lives in New Hampshire, but the state just keeps giving me stuff. and our own backyard is so fascinating. And I love our state. I mean, it's also like the most expensive, one of the most expensive places to live. Like the taxes here are ridiculous, but
Yes.
I do love this area. So, if there's something funky happening in your own backyard, I got to know about it. And then I really feel compelled to A, document it, and B, tell as many people as I can about it. Because I just think it's fascinating, and I can't be the only one.
So you are open to people. Obviously, you got to weed out the people that want attention, liars, druggies, whatever. But you are open to stories. I mean, for the most part, yeah. I keep my eyes peeled up here. Absolutely. I don't want to give away where I live on the camera because it's a town of like 1,200. But you know where I live, and where I live between the Appalachian Trail, Mount Katahdin, and Bangor. I've seen wild rabbits. Nothing that's weird, but that's why I keep my eyes out, because there's no city lights up here. Like you say, we got more sky. Yeah. We're in the mountains. Yeah. And I see lights all the time, man. Is it a satellite? Is it a plane? I don't know, man. But there's some wild shit up in Maine. I tell you, it's America's dead end, but it's but we love it, right? This is our thing. So I gotta ask you, Nomar. I want to go back, rewind. My ADHDs are full effect, so don't mind me. I'm excited to talk to you, brother. So, where'd this all start, man? I know I've asked you before, but we have some new listeners. Where'd this all start for you, brother? Was it a horror movie when you were a kid? Family?
It was really just my own experience. I was 5 years old, I think, and I'd gone to bed, and a loud sound woke me up in the middle of the night. And when I say middle of the night, I don't know if that's 9 p.m. or 3 a.m. because I'm freaking 5 years old. But my eyes pop open, and I'm like, well, what was that? And so I'm kind of looking around, and then I see, I'm looking out the window, and I see the sky light up, and then I hear taps on the windows, and I'm like, oh, it's a thunder and lightning storm. Thunder must have woken me up. So I kneel up on my bed. Of a kid.
You're not thinking fucking
Yeah. I'm not thinking anything scary. So I kneel up on my bed, and I'm looking out the window because I want to watch the thunder and lightning storm. And even at that age, I knew that you saw lightning super quick, that it's gone in just a second. But while I'm watching it, there was this really disturbing lightning bolt, and it didn't go away. It was stuck in a cloud, and there was electricity coming off of it, and there was booms associated with it. And I don't know really what happened after that. I guess I fell asleep because I wake up in the morning and I have to go to the bathroom, and I do that. And then I'm walking from the bathroom back to my bedroom, and I can see out the window, and the lightning bolt's still there. Wow. And I'm like, I know that's crazy, right? Even though I'm 5, I know that's weird. So I ran downstairs to get my dad to show him, and I brought him all the way upstairs to look out the window. And by the time we got up there, it was gone. And I was trying to explain to him about the night before and the thunder and lightning. There was a lightning bolt in the cloud, and he was doing the parent thing, like, tapping my head and stuff.
Go get some cereal, buddy.
Yeah. But I must have been pretty insistent and pretty animated, because he had to kneel down and put his hands on my shoulder and get on my level, and was like, buddy, it didn't even rain last night. I don't know what you're talking about. And again, I'm 5 years old. So the next, shiny thing caught my attention, and I forgot all about it. So a few weeks later, I'm being woken up again in the middle of the night, but this time it's my dad waking me up. And he brings me downstairs, and I can see my mother shoving my sister into her, winter clothes. And then she does the same to me. And then my dad scoops me up, and we all go outside. Again, this is the middle of the night to me. I have no idea what time it is. And I bury my head in my dad's chest because it's freezing out, because it's Fort Kent and in the middle of winter, so it's awful. And he keeps telling me, buddy, you gotta look up, So I finally take my head out of his chest, and I look up, and it's the Northern Lights. And it's the only time I've seen them, despite all the times it's happened this year where we can see them down here. It's just been cloudy where I'm at, and I haven't been able to see them. Yeah. So, but that was the only time I've seen them. So anyways, I feel like at such a young age, with 2 major sky anomalies happening, I think it created like a core memory. And I was like, you know, you got to look the fuck up and pay attention, you know, like shit happens up there. So like,
Yes.
you know, and I'm like,
Yes.
okay, so I've been doing that the rest of my life. I didn't really start collecting stories until I was like a teenager, but that was like the catalyst, you know, of like being introduced to like strange and unknown things. And then my mother, who was a huge fan of Stephen King, still is, and loves horror movies, she got me into all that stuff at a very young age, like just a couple of years later. You know, like I inappropriately, I think Phantasm was my first horror movie.
Ooh.
And the, you know, the little silver
Classic.
balls with the blades on them, like
Yeah,
freaked
yeah, yeah,
me
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and the tall man, you know, but yeah. So that's kind of the origin story in a nutshell.
I love it. I remember the light because I've asked you before, that never gets old. I remember the lightning story. I remember you telling me
Yeah.
that, and how it gets stuck in the cloud. Your story, the facts are always the same because I've heard that before. You've told me, and I don't know word for word, but I remember the lightning one, and that fucking
Sure.
blows my mind because,
It
like,
was
buddy,
weird,
it didn't even
man.
rain last night. You're like, huh? Because your head's trying to compute. Well, what did I?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
What's
You know,
I?
and you know, I probably wasn't. It wasn't until like I was 13 or 14, thinking back about it, where I was like, oh man, that's probably the first. That was probably like a UFO, and I don't know if it was a screen memory that I saw it as lightning, or I just had no point of reference, you know, so I
Right.
just called it lightning, you know, but it was clearly something hovering in the sky because you know,
Your eyes
lightning
and
doesn't.
brain. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, it
commute what it is,
couldn't
and you're
process it. Yeah, it
real
was
quick.
strange.
Another Maine fellow, Tombstone Paranormal, Jim and Don Brown out of
Oh,
Stowe,
Jim Brown.
Maine. Locating the Lost podcast, Travis Hartford, runner of the
Hey,
Paracon
Travis,
in
what up?
Castleboro, checking in with Nomar. Heather, share your links. Thank you, baby girl.
Well,
Nate asked if this was. Do you have a favorite UFO encounter story? Was that you think your first? Was that your favorite? It's got to be your first, maybe.
it's the first, but it's not my favorite. Jeez, what would be my favorite?
Good one,
That's
Nate.
a good question.
Stump Nomar challenge. All right.
there's a lot of interesting ones, but I think one of my favorite new ones, because this is going to change all the time as I think about different stories and as I find new stuff, or as people tell me new stuff. But one of my favorite recent ones was about this woman. I forget where, and it might be in the book, but I don't have it in front of me. But she was on the phone in like the early evening, and it was summer, so she had her front door open but a screen door closed, and she was on the phone with a friend, and her dog was in the kitchen with her, and her boyfriend was someplace else in the house. And so while she's talking on the phone, every once in a while she's noticing that the dog is kind of inching closer and closer to the screen door, and it's looking at something outside, but she's not really paying attention to it though. She keeps talking. Now the dog starts barking a little bit, you know, just a little bit at first. And she's like, what is his deal? You know, and she looks outside, doesn't see anything. She's like, what is wrong with you? And still talking on the phone. And then the dog like stands up and is at attention, and he's barking at something outside. And so she's like, okay, like something's going on now, you know, because this doesn't happen normally. So she's like, I got to call you back. She hangs up the phone and started making her way towards the screen door, which I think signaled to the dog, okay, mom knows something's wrong. I'm going to shoot out there now. So he just busts through the screen door.
No way.
And he starts running at something. And she looks and she sees what she claims was like a 6-7 foot tall alien crouched down at the base of a tree, and it was looking over its shoulder at the dog. And when the dog burst out running, the alien stood up, which is how she kind of got an estimate for its height, and it started running away. And as it ran away, the alien started cloaking itself or something from the feet up, because she saw it starting to disappear.
Shut
You know, as it ran, and then finally it disappeared completely. Once it disappeared completely, the dog stopped running, but continued to bark in the direction of where it went.
Animals get that sense; they can still sense it.
Yeah. So, you know, she didn't,
like Harry Potter. Oh my god!
right. So obviously it freaked her out. She was doing her best to try to get her dog to come back inside. She finally did. And eventually the boyfriend comes down. He's like, what is going on? Like, what is the dog freaking out? And she was like yelling to him during this time too. And so she tells him what happened. He believes her. So they both go outside to look by the tree and where it ran
What?
to see if they can see any sign of it or any footprints or anything and see anything.
Right.
But that was a pretty crazy story. And I think it's one of my favorites. And it happened fairly recently. I want to say 2019-ish. I don't exactly remember now, but
In May,
it's
huh?
recent and I love it. Yeah, in May. Crazy.
So it was a gray. It was just like a hairless gray, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because she did describe it. I think there is a bit of a description in there that it did resemble like a gray alien, but a tall gray. So
Wow.
wild stuff though, and I love it when there's an animal. I love it when there's an animal introduced into a story and it reacts to whatever's happening. You know, it's lends credibility to a given situation.
Animals don't, like with kids, they kind of see past that shit. Kids will just kind of freeze,
Yeah.
but the animals will be like, what's up? Sometimes, like my girlfriend Heather, her bulldog passed away after 9 years. Athena Sky loves that bulldog.
Yeah,
The
R.I.P.
cage
Athena.
underneath the stairs, the cat will sit there and look at where the cage used to be and just cry and zone out and then snap out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Is she saying hi?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know, right? I don't know.
Yeah, my girl and I, and I won't get into this further, but my girl and I do have some experience with potentially maybe some sort of cat or animal type entity. And it's really interesting. Like sometimes it'll make itself known. And yeah, it's just really interesting with what happens to animals. And you do hear about them more in haunting stories. And then you also hear about dogs reacting in encrypted stories, but you don't get a lot of animal stuff in UFO stories. So I love it when I come across, something with an animal,
That's a wild one because I've always seen in movies and stuff, dogs get freaked out by aliens, UFOs. That's the one thing that seems like we were like, remember Independence Day, dogs were always frightened by that shit. So
Yeah. Freaking out and kind of, tail between the legs. But this dog, he was all about it. He's like, let me go get it, Mom.
Wow. Nate, what is Nate saying? I had a sighting when I was young near Lake Winnipesaukee, New Hampshire. That's where they have the big Harley festival and shit there, right? They have Laconia is right by there. Short experience, but yeah. Betty and Barney Hill. I've been to the site.
Yeah.
Have you been to the site? The green marker in
I have, yeah.
Been to the gas stations, got the mural. I went to the house in Portsmouth where they live, where Barney died 5 years or 9 years later of an aneurysm. She died at 93 there. Then I went to Kingston, New Hampshire with Heather. Saw their gravestones. UFO Festival Extra. Oh, I love it, man. It's fucking New
it's a great spot. Yeah. There's so much. There's so much all throughout New England. Even Vermont has some really great stuff. Rhode Island.
What's that place in Massachusetts? Heather goes, I love. I go, no, Marcus. It could be I should pay him to come on. He's a therapist for Christ's sake. But I mean no disrespect by that because I talk like a trucker. But you're very good. So what's that place in Massachusetts where there's like a covered bridge and a UFO came? Thomas Reed Park.
Oh yeah. Dang, I forget the name of the town. Mike Stevens would be so disappointed in me. Mike, if you're listening, I'm so sorry, buddy.
Greatest guy.
I can't remember the name of the town, but yeah, that's another like.
Heather, Google it.
There's another famous encounter.
Tom Reed Park or something, or Thomas Reed Park, REED.
Yeah, I mean, right? I think like they put a marker there now, or it's a bench now, or something. Then there was some controversy where like they wanted to move it. I forget all the details now. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but but New England, there's so much stuff that happens here.
Your first book, the one that I got signed by you, which I was going to bring on, but I got my shit all fucking everywhere. Because I lost power for 2 days up here, and I was anyway.
Oh, geez.
But anyway, you were paranormal investigating down in Belfast, was it right? Or cryptozoology hunting in Belfast, Maine, or something, or
what was
Belgrade
I doing?
or something?
What was I doing? That's a good question. I've been all over looking for stuff. But you were talking about earlier when I was in Casco and the Naples area, and I was at Hackers Hill.
Hackers Hill, thank you.
Yeah. So that's Casco and Naples, that's like southern Maine, for me anyway. Yep. And so I had spoken to a witness who used to live at the base of a mountain in the Casco area. And he had an experience there in, I think it was the 70s. And he saw like a jet chasing a UFO, and it was a crazy experience for him. And then he saw this UFO like go into the peak of a mountain in the Casco area. And he would see this pretty often, and it was almost like a curtain. Like there was the peak of the mountain, and then a UFO would kind of go to the peak and like just like disappear. And he's like, I don't know if they're going into the mountain or what's going on. So he gave me, the specific mountain name and, roads leading up to it and all that good stuff. And I was looking for vantage points on where I could watch this peak uninterrupted for quite some time, because I wanted to see if I could witness a UFO go into the mountain. So it turns out Hackers Hill will give you a vantage point of a few different mountain peaks, and one of the mountain peaks is the one he was talking about. So I kind of set up shop. I even talked to the cops. I'm like, yo, I'm going to be up at Hackers Hill. I'm looking for UFOs. This is a thing I do. And this is a road. This is a road that's typically closed at night. It's a road that's typically gated at night. And I was like, yes. Can I get permission to go up there? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And I'm like, well, awesome. So I'm up at Hackers Hill. They left the gate open for me, so they weren't going to have like somebody like come at like 3 a.m. and let me out or whatever. They just left it open for the night, which was really cool.
It's a small town. No one's going to go up there. Fuck, I don't think it's closed. So anyways. So
yeah. So I'm up there, and I'm up there for a long time. I think I got there like at 6:30, and it was the summer, so like it still didn't get dark until like 8:30 or something. So I was there for quite a while. And but so I brought some food to eat, and I was smoking at the time, so I had a bunch of cigarettes, and I'm just kind of doing my thing, and I'm watching the skies and waiting for anything to happen. Then it gets dark, and it's getting really boring. I think 4 or 5 hours had gone by. And I get out of the car, and I'm leaning against it. I get back in the car. There's a couple of different vantage points. So I look over at the Naples Lake, whatever that's called. Sebago Lake. Yeah. Obviously. Sorry. So I'm looking at Sebago Lake, and so I'll watch that for a little while, and then I turn around and I'm watching the mountain again, and nothing's happening.
Mount Washington too.
Yeah. So I decide to try some CE5, which is UFO summoning. I have some issues with some major figures in ufology who do CE5, namely Dr. Stephen Greer. He's kind of a shithead in my opinion, but people have had some really interesting experiences with CE5. So I wanted to try it out. It was the only time, it was the first time I ever tried it. So
you riding solo for this? I gotta ask. Were you alone?
I am. Yeah, I am.
No shit. Okay.
So I'm leaning in the front of my car, and I close my eyes. And really, for CE5, for UFO summoning, you really just kind of like repeat a mantra or a statement or something in your head just over and over and over and over. And for me, I said something like, it's okay to reveal yourself to me. I'd really like to see you, something like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept doing that, and I kept doing that, and I kept doing that. And then I opened my eyes, and there's nothing. So I'm like, dang it. So I'm like, okay, let me get back in the car. So now I'm in the car. And I do it again, and I'm getting like Zen-like. It's almost a meditation. Yes. And I'm like, please show yourself to me. Please reveal yourself. I'm open to seeing you, and I'm just repeating it in my head. And then I open my eyes again, and I'm looking at the peak where a supposed UFO goes in and out of. And there's nothing. Dang it. So I'm like, all right. So I turn around and I look over Sebago Lake, and there's something hovering above the water. And I almost didn't believe it for a second. I'm like, okay, it's got to be a plane. Like, it's going to start moving any second. No, it's hovering. I'm like, okay, it's obviously the moon. It's not. It doesn't look anything like the moon. But I'm like, okay, it's the moon. But then I see that the moon is much higher and to the left. I'm like, okay, it's not the moon. So I'm also, like, I'm a UFO investigator, but I'm also human. So I'm just staring at it like an idiot, And I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably record this. So I grab my camera, and I have my cell phone, and I record on both a camera and a cell phone.
I remember the YouTube video.
Yeah. So I have like 20 seconds of it. And while I'm recording it, the headlights of something start coming up the road to Hackers Hill. I'm like, oh, who's this?
What are the
Is it
odds?
right?
What
And I'm
time?
like, are the cops coming up to check on me? Like, what's happening? And this car pulls in and they park a ways away from me, basically on the opposite side. They just park ways away from me. And I'm like, well, who's this?
Going to
And then
peek out or something.
I start smelling, the sticky icky. And I'm like, oh, okay. Just some people coming up to smoke. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I put my attention back to the water and the UFO's gone. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
son of a
fuck.
bitch. Yeah, but I did get about 20 seconds of it. And it's on my YouTube channel and it's Hackers Hill UFO. To anybody watching it, it's just a light in the sky. It's not very impressive, but I did see it. I maybe summoned it, and it was really cool to capture on camera. So
And what are the odds this guy distracts you? Not saying it was sent by that, but just funny, right? I mean,
right, really inconvenient.
if you get out
And
and it's Men in Black, you fucked up. It's time to go. Excuse me,
Very
no
true.
more? No, I'm just leaving.
I came back from an investigation one time. This was 2016, I think, and I was living in Bangor on a specific street, obviously, and
Gary.
I was coming back from a UFO thing, and there was a van, a white van, parked in front of my house. And I'm like, whoa, who's this? Because there's like no parking on that side of the road. There's only parking on the opposite side. And I'm like, all right.
Van in front of your house at night? Come on.
Right. So I'm like, okay, you're really sticking out if you're somebody that's trying to like monitor what I'm doing, because you're parked on the wrong side of the road. This is all stuff I'm thinking within like 10
Right.
seconds of me pulling in,
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? So as I get closer to the house and I put my blinker on and I'm pulling into the house, the van, like, it starts up and takes off. And I'm like, what the hell? I didn't catch the plate or anything. Maybe they were just like, oh shit, this dude lives here. We should get out of here. Like, cause they could have been smoking, like, I don't know,
Well,
but
yeah, give me a bet. I get it. You got 80,000 scenarios in your head. I get it.
yeah. And I just came from a UFO thing. So it was really easy for me to jump to like Men in Black or government, but I'm not important enough. Yeah. I'm an idiot that takes down main reports. Like, what do they care? You know what I mean? So I chalked it up to somebody like, smoking weed, and cause it was a quiet
Yeah.
street, you know what I mean? But
We're always up
it was
to
it was interesting.
Hey, real quick, Gene saying
Hey,
hello.
Gene. JD
That would
headlines.
freak me out.
Yeah, it did. It
Oh,
freaked me out,
they-
Gene.
They ever come back? They just take off? Did you follow
No, I
them?
never saw him again. Never saw him again.
You see what
You
I
know.
mean, man? I think, you know what's funny? Can I tell you a story real quick? Well, actually, okay.
Please.
I'll tell you a story.
Of course.
So you ever heard, okay, you must know this area a little bit. You know Windham, Maine.
Of course. Yep.
You know the Gambo Powder Mills, which was the second biggest gun manufacturer in Civil War America at the time.
I don't, but that's crazy.
It's at the end of Gambo Powder Mills, at the end of this road, and it's a little drawbridge that goes over water. There's like a little mill, and there's a big factory. Then you go through the woods. There's a little walk path, and there's literally like 5 or 8 stations, all concrete foundations, gone. But they made ammo there, and there's a little thing saying they made gunpowder here for the Civil War. They're number 2 in America behind New York and 17 whatever. Well, anyway, so I used to go down there a lot with Heather when I was from that area, Casco. My mom lived there. Rest in peace, Mom. I brought her one night, and Heather, if you're still watching, you can comment. This is true. I think I saw some skinwalkers. We went to the end of the road. We had Heather's van at the time and went to go smoke a joint. Coincidental enough. We go to the end of the road, right? And there's no signs that you can't go at night, which is fine. But we go to the end of the road, and you kind of park on the right or left, and there's the bridge, right? You dig? It's a metal bridge. It goes over the waterfalls by the mill. There's a mill that's kind of in progress still, but it leads to the trail. Anyway, so I look, and there's 2 dudes with their shirts off. One's standing up, the other one's leaning down. Not like he's blowing them, but kind of like he's in his midsection, look like he is. And
Okay.
it's dark. It's like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. I'm bringing my mom back to Casco. I'm going back to Heather's in Saco. And it's like 9:30, whatever. And they both stand. I get the headlights on the van, and they both stand up. And the guy that's bent down stands up, walks towards me. He's got no nipples, and he's walking towards me, shaved head. And I got out of there. I thought it was powder. I got out of there. I swear to God, bro. So I don't know if it's a skinwalker alien, but it's shit like that. Like, what were these 2 doing in pitch dark
That's
on the
weird.
bridge? And if they were doing
Yeah.
that, you'd leave. You'd think you wouldn't engage. If someone's got the headlights
Right.
on me, I'm not walking towards it, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah,
and then I've
that's
seen
weird.
USOs in Casco Bay by Wood Island
Oh.
Light. Me and Heather have seen submerged by Camp Ellis. lights underneath the water that move. USOs, you must believe in that. New
Oh
Brunswick's
yeah.
USO highway, you know.
Yeah. And
So,
I've had my own reports. I've gathered reports of other USOs in the area. So that's really interesting that you saw them underwater. I had some people who saw something come out of the water. There
now
was
you're
another
talking.
gentleman who saw something kind of he shot something. He saw something shoot out of the water, but he actually noticed like a waterfall in front of him first. And he's like, what is that? Because he heard water. He was outside eating breakfast, and he heard like all this water, like dropping. So he's like, what the hell? And he looks up and he sees this like stream of water in the middle of the air. And then he looks up and there's this spherical UFO and there's just water falling off of it, and that's what he was seeing apparently. Wild,
I'd
wild
shit my
stuff.
pants, but I'd love to die seeing that.
Yeah,
I, I
right.
I mean, people. I love horror movies. I love all that shit. But to see the real life stuff is where it's at. It's why you're well rounded, dude. You love it all. You love history, Stephen King, but then you love cryptozoology, paranormal. I'm
I
just real
do.
quick. I get to comment. People are asking questions. Sorry, guys. I can talk to no more without you guys. No offense. I'm glad you're watching. But real quick, not in Maine related, but what in your opinion on the Fresno night crawlers? You ever heard of them? Aliens? Thanks.
Yeah, Nathan, I think the original video that was like that security camera of that dude's house, that he put up and the gate, that original video is friggin' weird. And
I think I know what you're
I
talking
think
about.
it's really hard to debunk. Now, subsequent Fresno Nightcrawler videos, I think those might be hoaxes. The first one, if it's not a hoax, it's really, really well done. And I would like to know if it was a hoax. I'd like to know how they did it. That thing is weird, and I love it right to death. My girlfriend Christina, she is a maker of many types of art, and one thing that she loves to make are little versions of the Fresno Nightcrawler. So she's got little clay sculptors and then like stuffed versions, and it's really cool. But
I
yeah,
gotta
Nate,
get
that's
some.
what I think about the
I gotta get
original
some
one.
about
That's
Kiwi.
my opinion.
Kiwi's Cryptids, guys. KIWI''S Cryptids on Facebook. She's got some cool shit. She takes pictures on Nomar, tap dancing on suns and fucking the backs of the gluttonous monster. Okay, Travis Hartford, you've been patient. Appreciate you. Nomar, do you think some people are more susceptible to paranormal or alien experiences than others? Good
I don't
question,
know
Travis.
if they're Trev, I don't know if they're more susceptible or if they're just paying attention more or if they're just more open to it. Uh, I don't know. Somebody like Mike Stevens, he wasn't looking for it, but what made him more susceptible? I don't know, other than an open-mindedness or something like that. But it would certainly seem like people are more susceptible, because like if one person has one experience, it often blossoms into like a lifetime of experiences.
Yeah.
And once you've lived in a haunted house or something, you kind of become more open to the paranormal, things like that. But
Yeah.
again, my gut tells me that it's people that are willing to be more open about this stuff, and they'll pay more attention to it. But do I have a definitive answer? Absolutely not.
At least he's honest, folks, and he's got a good answer. He is really tuning in. We got about a half hour to go. He is numerous things, but he is Nomar Slevik, author, cryptozoologist, paranormal investigator, UFOologist, historian, traveler, podcaster. Christ Almighty. He's everything, and he's a good dude. He's a good friend. He's been kind to me. Every time I see him, he says to me Stephen King shit all the time. Real quick, WKIT in Bangor's closing. I get some. I applied there last
R.I.P.
year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go real quick. Okay. Greetings to all. Another client of mine for Historically Haunted Booking, Samai Eldrith. She's an enchantress. She is a little bit on the voodoo side, but she is like a high priestess type chick. But she makes vagina candles and stuff, so that's cool. And
Nice.
yeah, penis candles too. But she is from Connecticut. Greetings. Thanks for checking in. Everybody checking in. What's going on? Travis with another one. Do you think they realize that they can't hide it anymore? So now that UFO disclosure is actually happening, yeah, even the government admitted it's happening. And you almost hear less.
Yeah,
of
well, sort of. So let me address that part first. So the government unequivocally has never admitted that UFOs are real. What's happening
Oh.
is sections of the government are willing to listen to people that say UFOs are real. So all they're doing is listening to people and giving them a
I've been
voice
misled.
that UFOs are real. Now, there's people within the government that do believe in UFOs. Don't get me wrong.
Right, but they didn't come publicly out and say it though, like people have told.
You're right. They've never publicly announced
I've
it.
never
Although
seen footage, but people say that all the time.
yeah, and it kind of sounds like they're, that they are saying that they're real. But even their latest report, they're like, we haven't found any evidence of extraterrestrial activity. So, but what was Travis's other question there?
Oh,
you
I'm
wanna
fucking
throw that
stoned.
back
You gonna
up?
ask me that, Nomar? Hold on, man. You're probably a better podcast. I'm surprised I'm still around. Do you think
disclosure,
they realize
yeah.
they can't hide it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think, just because I've been doing this for so long, Trav, I don't think that disclosure is going to happen in the way that we think it is, which is the government maybe having some sort of press conference or something and finally admitting that's real, or doing the press conferences that they have now and having all these people speak and then admitting that it's real. I don't think that's going to happen. I think disclosure has been quietly happening behind the scenes, and people if you've seen one, they're real. You know what I mean? So I think it's quietly been happening behind the scenes. And will we ever get to the place where, the government or a sitting president will say that they're real? I have a real hard time believing that. There's so much evidence of it right now. All of these people have come forward. There's been numerous meetings with the government for these people, these military people, really, really credible witnesses who've claimed that, yes, this is in fact real, and they still refuse to admit it. So I don't think we're going to get it in the sense of disclosure. What people think when you say disclosure is an official meeting, an official announcement. And I don't know if we're going to get that.
It's not hand in hand because, it doesn't have to be considered an alien, but there has been literally, they will tell you there's unidentified objects. They don't know if it's foreign. They don't know what the fuck it is. There's things in the sky. But aliens, But if anybody, and not to be political, but it would be Trump going, yeah, I seen ET, whatever. Yeah, he's a very friend of mine, okay? You know what I mean? He would be the only one to admit it would be fucking Trump. Like him or hate him, you got to admit it. I'm sorry. No more, real quick. What kind of mic are you using, brother?
What is this? I think it's a Blue Yeti.
Sure.
Does it sound all right?
Sounds great. I don't even use one. I got one bought for me. Someone that clips on. I don't really use it much. It's Logitech, but I don't even use it. I'm very just plain Jane, but it works, man. I hope you're having a good time.
Of course, yeah.
You always
love talking about this stuff.
Travis, yes, Voodoo. It's dude. Check it out. It's a store where I live. Right, you buy two of them, it comes up to $6.66 every time. Oh boy,
that's awesome.
What's up, Annie Waters checking in? I believe she's part of the History Alive crew with Kara Phillip, someone I manage, which is awesome.
Cool.
I couldn't agree more about No More Story. Thank you for checking in, Kim. I've never seen you.
Thanks, Kim. Hey,
Awesome.
Kim, how you doing?
Heather, thank you for sharing No More Store.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Holidays are coming. Yeah, I appreciate it. And the holidays are coming.
That bookstore time when I met Lauren Coleman in Bangor. The first time I met you gave us a hug. I bought a book off you. Nice. You signed it, and she's like, "Nomar's a good dude." I go, "Yeah, we really love it." If dude, honestly, I'm gonna get you live here. You can say no or maybe, but maybe sometime this winter or spring. I'd love to have dinner with us four or something in Bangor or something, man. Like,
yeah,
I love this. I don't know. I know it's close, but I don't have any friends up here, dude. I don't know anybody up Augusta. So maybe you in Kiwi, me and Heather, we do a lunch maybe this summer or something, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, I think we should figure something out.
I'll buy it, man. I'll treat you at Governor's or fucking something. We'll go to Stephen King's house and throw your book over it. Dude, I brought Danny Perez there. Danny Perez threw his book over his fence, over King's fence. And that's no shit.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite Stephen King book, brother? Or favorite Stephen King book and movie? Or movie, both.
Okay. So I've been, like, the last 3 months, like since Halloween, I have been obsessed with Salem's Lot. So a new movie came out. Ooh. And, some people like it, some people don't. I fucking love it because it's like a new Salem's Lot adaptation. Richie. So, hey, Richie, what's up, man? So I've been obsessed with Salem's Lot, the new movie, the old movie, and I just re-listened to the audiobook. I read the original book back in the day as a teenager. I'm sure I didn't understand all of it at the time, but re-listening to it now, it was absolutely amazing. So Salem's Lot is up there,
Yes.
but
they filmed it
there's
elsewhere at that fucking Finn's Pub. I heard.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is that true? In Ellsworth, they filmed the new series of Salem's Lot in Finn's Pub in Ellsworth, next to the steps where Victor Pascal got carried up in Pet Cemetery. That's right.
I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the new movie. I don't know if it was the new Salem's Lot, but there was a Stephen King thing filmed at Finn's Pub. I forget what movie it was.
Oh, wasn't Salem's Lot the new one? No.
I don't think it was. It was
No
something else, and I think it came out.
I got excited no more.
No, that's all right. That's all right. But what I really found fascinating is Stephen King has a book called Night Shift. And Night Shift came out, I think it was a book or two after Salem's Lot.
Yes.
And in Night Shift, there's a story called One for the Road. And it is an official part 2 of Salem's Lot. And it takes place at Tukey's Bar, which is just down the road from the lot. It's not in the lot. I think it's technically like in Falmouth or Yarmouth or something, Tukey's Bar. But Salem's Lot is, like down the road and around the corner. And at this point, because it's been a few years now since the original events of Salem's Lot, that everybody's aware and they just don't talk about it, but the lot is filled with vampires and they know it. And so this part 2 is really fascinating. It's a short story and I'm absolutely in love with it. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, even though it came out like in, 81 or something, but check it out. Night Shift, One for the Road. It's a Salem's Lot part 2. It's amazing.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, fuck it. You know what? It's fucking Nomar and the crew. I'm going to take in my Stephen King collection. I went to a free pile in Kennebunk a couple weeks ago with Heather. I drove down there when I went to go visit her in Saco. 3 hours where I fucking south of where I live. And I added to my King collection.
Oh.
There it is. I got it for free in a free pile, bro.
Ooh, very cool.
And it's got the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's an awesome book because it also has Trucks, which is the story based on Maximum Overdrive. It's got Sometimes They Come Back,
which is a movie.
Yeah. It's got Children of the Corn. So Night Shift. If you go and look at the table of contents of Night Shift, even just Google it, look at the table of contents, you'll see that like 6, 7, 8 Stephen King movies came from that. Oh, thanks, Heather, for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Sorry,
and,
I also for I'm getting excited.
No.
I'm my ADHD, dude. I love talking to you because you're very passionate, you're very fun, and you're very knowledgeable, and you don't pull no punches.
Thanks, man. But yeah,
that's cool. That's a good pick. Have you been to any movie sites? Have you been to any have you been to Belfast?
I have. Yeah, Belfast and also Southwest Harbor. My mom used to work. Yeah. My mom used to work at a place called Westside Florist, and that was located at the strip mall right as you get into Southwest Harbor. You take a right, and there's a strip mall right there. And my mom worked at a flower shop there. That's what she did for her career. She was a florist, and she did that for like 25 years or whatever. She's since retired. The shop's gone away, but they filmed parts of Storm of the Century in Southwest Harbor, and there's a little grocery store there that they reinvented to be the grocery store of the constable there. And they hired my mom's shop to do some flowers for the film and for this movie premiere. So they did a special movie premiere for the people on the island at the high school. And my mom in the shop was invited. And they also, my mom in the shop did some flowers for the premiere. And they showed Storm of the Century. Everybody loved it. And they even, on the side of the high school, because, there was like the biggest building on the island, on the side of the high school, they wrote, give me what I want and I'll go away.
Shut up. My fucking God.
How cool.
Fun and sin, come on in. Oh, yes. I've been to the harbor when they're walking up at the beginning. And of course, when it's snowy and you see the blinking light, there's a little hotel on the left there. That's where they stayed. So that's actually a hotel and a little deli there and shit. Wow,
yeah,
your
sure.
mom made flowers, dude. You know about stuff, so
it's super cool.
So there shares it.
I'm so sorry, but
I'm sorry. I love you because of it.
So my mom is at this premiere, right? And then afterwards, there was like an after party, in Southwest Harbor at some bar. I can't remember what the name of the bar was. I think it's changed names. I don't know if it's Duffy's or I forget the name of it
I gotta
now.
research it.
But she was invited to this after party with the rest of the shop, and she's just kind of chilling, and she sees Linda Napolina. I forget what her name is, but it was the sheriff's wife that's in the movie, and she sees her standing there, having a drink, and then somebody behind my mom goes, "Oh, excuse me, like, oh, were you? Did you work on the movie?" And my mom turns around, and it's fucking Tim Daly, and she's like,
Oh my god! No way!
Yeah.
Tim Dillon's in Wings, guys. That's the sheriff. That's the father who's gonna choose and take his own kid out when he gets picked. Oh my fucking god!
My mom
Sorry to
couldn't
get
believe
pumped
it.
up. That's awesome.
No, it's cool. But my mom's telling me, and I'm like, "What? You met Tim Daly? That's amazing." So I was just as pumped.
So her shop's no longer there, but is the building where she had the flower shop there?
Yeah, the building's there. Although the building like wasn't in the movie at all, but yeah, the building's still there.
I still gotta go take a selfie. I've been to there and I've taken a picture of the water. Remember they bring the traps in off the boats and you can see the I've taken a picture of that in the building, but I gotta go there now.
It's a beautiful dock. If anybody can get to Southwest,
he loves it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful.
He loves your mic, brother.
Nice.
Have either of you read or listened to the On Writing, the Stephen King?
Yeah.
He talks about.
Yeah,
I have the book. I haven't touched it yet, but no, I'm halfway through my first book. I've started like literally like a year ago, and it's a biography about my life, and I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm just like. So we're supposed to get some more snow up here where I live. Maybe I'll bury myself in, get a joint and some coffee, and write. But how do you write, man? You just keep going, huh?
Yeah, like that's I do get asked that a lot, or I don't get asked about like me, but they're like, how can I start writing? And like if I can write, like guys, I'm a big dumb idiot. Like if I can write, anybody can write. Okay, so really, all you got to do is just sit down and just start typing away or start handwriting away. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry if it sounds good. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense or if it does make sense. Just get it out. And once you get it out, you can then start putting things together so it makes a little bit more sense. And then do not trust yourself. Do not trust yourself in regards to grammar and punctuation and all that. Hire somebody. And there's a company called Fiverr. You can get the app and you can literally hire an editor from anywhere from $5 to $50 to read over your manuscript, and they will edit it so it's as professional as possible. So that's my recommendation. Also, if you don't have any money, which is totally fine because I don't a lot of the time, do you have a friend? Is there an old high school English teacher that you can hit up? Somebody that that is into words. Almost everybody knows somebody that has an interest in words. And like for Adam, I might be the buddy that's interested in words, so I would edit your thing if you wanted me to.
I would appreciate that. I would owe you one. But I don't be there for me.
But the point is just get it out. Forget all the bullshit. Just get it out. And
dedication.
Then you can go from there.
Right? Like treat it like, I get what you're saying. If you can dedicate yourself to everything else, like I'm dedicated to sharing people's shit because I do that as a booking agent. But half the time, I'm not even promoting my own shit. So it's like, if I can just sit down and write a book and just shut my phone off, tell Heather I'll call you in an hour and just write a fucking hour, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And, I've also found, like if I'm doing anything, like if I want to walk to lose some weight, or if I want to do something that I'm not that interested in, but it's going to give me better knowledge, but it's just kind of a slog to get through.
Yep.
I'm going to have a real hard time with it. I've got to be able to enjoy some sort of aspect of it. So for walking, I listen to audiobooks while I walk, and that just really helps me. I don't know why, but it helps me.
Okay, well, do tell. We'll be talking. Like, not Stephen King on tape, I guess. Is there anything else?
Of course. Yeah. I'm listening to it. Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. And it's read by Steven Weber, who's
Heather's
the other.
reading the original book right now. She's halfway
Oh,
through.
nice.
She's at the point where they're talking about Al Brady getting killed, but they renamed him Al Brady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That
based
part
on
is
Al,
in there.
It's got to be Alfred Brady.
It is based on that, yeah.
For those you don't know, in the 1930s, after Tom Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde died, Alfred Brady from Indianapolis was America's Most Wanted. He came with his gang from Indianapolis, Indiana at 25 years old. the Bangor, Maine wanted Tommy at the Briar Patch bookstore. Your books are sold there, I believe, right?
They're not, but it's a great bookstore.
I'm going down to sell some of my clients' books to them in a week or two, and I'm going to try to sell yours. You're not my client, but you're my friend, and I'm going to try to push that. They sell local artists. Anyway, they bought Tommy guns there, and the FBI, Jake Hoover, and them shot him in the streets. He's buried in Mount Hope Cemetery in the Jewish section. I've been to his grave where Stephen King played the Reverend in Pet Cemetery. So that's based on him. No shit. I got to read it. Yeah. It's a big book, but.
It is. And I'm listening to it. So you can listen to it in Audible right now. Audible
Who's
has.
Reading? Who speaks?
It's Steven Weber, who was the other brother on Wings.
Oh, fucking Joe? Or whatever the fuck his name was on Wings.
What was his name?
He was always looking for chicks and always just. He was in The Shining. He was in The Shining.
That's right. Yeah, he was in the Shining remake, and he reads it so well. He acts all the voices, all the different voices. It's so fucking well done. So if you don't want to read it, listen to Steven Weber read it, and it's amazing.
You need to do his newest movie, The Boogeyman, on video on tape, so I can listen to your voice reading The Boogeyman to me. That'd be fucking dope.
Boogeyman's awesome. Have you seen The Boogeyman yet?
Oh yeah. I got a big Stephen King collection. You know me, man. I got same high school as him, Lisbon High School. I've been obsessed with him since I was a kid. So, so let's talk about real quick going back. What do you listen to for tunes besides audiobooks? You must listen to heavy metal, hard rock, country, rap.
No, that's not really my thing. My thing is hip hop, man. I've been a hip hop kid since way back in the day. Even living up in Fort Kent, I was into the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that stuff. And
Public Enemy, bro.
Yeah, Public Enemy, love them growing up. Big Daddy Kane, all these guys. But there's also like a ton of there's a ton of new stuff that I love. You
like Yellow Wolf, a Native American rapper from Alabama, white dude, the Eminem sign. That's Yellow. That's Heather and I's guy. We met him.
I've heard some songs. I can't say I'm a fan, but I have heard some songs. But yeah, so it's typically something hip hop. LL Cool J just put out a new album, and it's fucking phenomenal. Because Eminem also released a new album, and in my opinion, it's not good. And the way LL Cool J put out this new album, I mean, that's how a veteran should be putting it out. It's just
absolutely
really, really good lyrics. And all of the beats, or most of the beats, are done by Q-Tip, who was the head rapper for A Tribe Called Quest.
A Tribe Called Quest, back when Naughty by Nature was around and shit.
Yeah, God, so the new LL Cool J is phenomenal. Ice Cube has a new album out. It's okay. It's not that great, but it's not bad. But I love it when the OGs put out a new album. Body Count, Ice-T's heavy metal band, they have a new album out, and it's really good. So I would definitely
Body Count's a metal band, dude.
Yeah. And they just performed on Jimmy Fallon, which is wild. So you can check that out on YouTube. Body Count and Jimmy Fallon.
All is lost. You think you're gonna fuck me over? All love is lost. Oh yeah, that's dope. I like that shit. Give me a rock band, a metal band. You must like Slipknot, maybe something. Tool. Tool. I can see you driving a Tool.
I don't know about Tool.
No kidding, really.
I like a lot of Mike Patton stuff. Faith No More, Mr. Bungle.
Okay.
Some of that stuff is interesting.
What is it? Travis, I actually own the book. It's on Kennedy, and Derry takes place. I guess Pennywise is in it. I haven't read that either. I'm so behind on King Rook. I just read Elevation, and before that, I read the Mr. and Mrs. the marriage one where the girl's handcuffed to the bed and the guy dies there.
Yeah. But Trav, I haven't read it, but I saw the miniseries on Hulu, and it started out pretty strong, but then it kind of like fizzled out, in my opinion. Plus, it's got James Franco, and fuck that guy. But because it's another big book, but it's another huge book. So there is a Hulu series if people want to check it out. But it's got a strong start. The first couple episodes are fucking fantastic.
Oh, I fucking love No More, dude. You're so fucking... Alexis Aaron, Candles by Alexis Kleinman from Derry, New Hampshire, where they shot scenes of Jumanji, I believe. Cool. Bookstore and stuff. I'm writing a book. It's been a while. Hard time to find dedicated to. Yeah, it really is. I think the hardest part will be getting it done and get it published. Yeah, if you need help, I'm sure No More. I'm not going to push No More, but I'm sure I can give you a hand, Alexis.
It's tough to do the dedication and writing a book, but for me, like, words are a passion, so it's a thing that I'm passionate about, and I think it's a little bit easier for me to kind of get into the mode, and because the next thing I know, 2 or 3 or 4 hours have gone by. I'm like, oh Christ, I have to, A, I got to piss. B, I should probably touch grass or something. You know what I mean? And, so I can get lost in it sometimes. But
You got 8 mixed messages from your friends, your family, your girl. What's up? You breathing?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit. Like, well, that's the thing too. Is I mean, Edgar Allan Poe and them, man, you didn't have nothing but pigeon messages back then. But nowadays, emails, text, calls, you fucking name it. God forbid.
Super distracting.
Even if you're Netflix ass, are you still watching? Yeah, chill out, bro. I'm zoned out for a minute.
Yeah.
Relax.
And don't get me wrong, also, like, while I'm getting lost in it, I also have like a movie playing in the background. Like, as an example for today, I actually had Storm of the Century on in the background, and 5 minutes will go by, and now I'm peeking behind the laptop, checking out Andre Lenoge and the bullshit he's up to. And I'm like, no, keep writing.
So bad. That house when he kills the mother in the beginning, that's in.
Yeah.
That's by Southwest Harbor too. I get that written down. I haven't been there, and I've been to a lot of places from Thinner in Belfast. Been to Raleigh's Diner where they eat at the bar.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been to House of Pancakes in Augusta where they eat. There's a big placard behind the wall of the movie from in there. But I could go on and on about Stephen King shit. But it's not about Stephen King right now. I did meet Joe Hill a couple weeks ago in Bangor.
And my girl and I saw that. It was really cool.
I stood up, came in my pants, went outside, smoked a cigarette, went to bed. You know what I mean? Stephen King stood up. I go, oh, he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, right? And everybody's watching Joe Hill and this other guy, and I'm looking at the corner of my eye going, that's fucking Stephen King 2 inches from me. Not trying to be weird, but no metal detector, nothing. I not that I want to have a gun, but I mean, Jesus Christ, like I'm ready to fucking snap if someone does hurt him. He reaches in his pants, pulls out a mint, starts chewing a mint. He's on his laptop, sitting there with a Bangor shirt, Joe Hill Bangor jacket, Bangor High School.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting the whole time, just literally just don't know what I'm doing. Did a little bit of video. Then I go on, he stands up and go, Mr. King, can I get a picture? He goes, I'm not right now. I go, I went to the same high school as you. Prudence Grant was your English teacher. He looks at me, he goes, yep. And he looked at me, he talked to me, made eye contact with me. I took a picture of the back of his head. Fuck me, I'll die tomorrow. I'm happy. So anyway, that's one thing we got in common, I guess, is the King thing. But besides that, too, the main thing, man, we're at the hour now. Can we go another 5-10 minutes over? Because we're still got about 12 people watching. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course. I have a little King story myself. So this was, I think it was 2019. And I think that's when the new It came out. Yes. And like you, I do like to drive by his house often when I'm in Bangor.
I think I saw Tabitha.
It's a cool thing for me. So it's 2019, and I'm probably like Ubering or something, and I'm like, all right, let's go down West Broadway, see what's going down. So I go down there.
Goddamn, you're my spirit animal.
By the house outside on the huge friggin' sidewalk, there's a guy holding the leash of a tiny dog. And I'm like, no shit, that can't be him. And I pull up, and it's Stephen King, and it's Molly, the Thing of Evil.
The Thing of Evil, I mean, shit,
yeah.
Yes.
So I roll down my window, and I'm yelling over my passenger side. I was like, Mr. King, you got the Thing of Evil with you, huh? And he's like, yep, she's right here, trying to get her to go. And then I said, I can't wait to see it. And he goes, you're going to love it. And then I was like, all right, thanks, Mr. King. And, I took off because I didn't want to bother him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a badass story. Now, a couple years later, I'm out Ubering again, and I see that there's a guy named Joe wants me to pick him up on West Broadway. I'm like, Joe, West Broadway, I got to take it. So I accept it. I go to West Broadway. I go to Stephen King's house, and I pull up.
No way.
It's not him. So these guys get in the car. I go, what are you doing to me? And they're like, what? I'm like, dude, you're at West Broadway. Your name's Joe. He's got a son named Joe Hill. Like, what are you doing to me? I thought I'm coming here to pick up Joe.
No more.
And they're like, oh my God, so sorry, man. But I took him to some bar wherever the hell they wanted to go. But funny though.
Well, that's cool though. You saw King, because it's funny. Like Jim Brown and them watching. They're like, well, he's got a house in Florida. He's got a house in Lovell, Maine. I go, well, yeah, but you don't think he mentioned he owns the White House next door, which is supposed to be a writer's retreat. That's what I wanted to wait my book for, was to write in his house. But that's not opening anytime soon. Huh? Yeah,
that'd be awesome. To
you heard about that too, though, right? It's a writer's
I did,
retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, haven't heard any news on it lately, but yeah.
I went there, and of course, like I said, Nomar caught me a couple of times peeking over the fence. We get some more time to look at what does Nomar do for a nice little? You mentioned earlier about getting. What do you get for like a nice bite to eat? What do you do after like a book or a meeting or a big book event or something?
I'm not fancy, man.
Lobster?
I also, no, I also don't have a lot of money. So, for me, a big old plate of like spaghetti or noodles or something like that, or rice, that's usually where I'm at. My girl and I make these spring rolls together, so it's like these Asian noodles, and then we chop up some cucumber and some carrots, and we have some lettuce, and we make it into a spring roll, and they're so good. So her and I will sit there and we'll watch, Yellow Jackets or something, and we're just like, stuffing our faces.
You like to watch independent movies and shit too? You watch documentaries and stuff?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm a huge movie guy. Like horror is my favorite, obviously, but I watch all kinds of movies. There's this new movie out that's got Aubrey Plaza in it. It's called My Old Ass, and I think it's on Prime, but it's a really cute, genuine, like heartfelt movie, and I loved it, and I cried at the end. I thought it was a great movie. Yeah, it's good stuff.
We get done. I know it's late and we're getting buzzed, but please send me that link or at least that thing in Messenger if you can in the next couple of days. Of course,
sure.
We'll be over on YouTube. I'll send you that. We're getting towards the end, but real quick too. Yes, Travis, you did ask earlier. My apologies. Nomar, did you have any schooling in writing and/or speaking, anything like that? You're awesome at it. He didn't mention speaking.
I don't. I wasn't the best student. I know I have like problems with authority figures. So but also at the same time, my dad was a high school teacher and he taught at the school that I went to. So I was always a good boy, but I didn't really care so much. I did enough to pass. I always got like C's and B's, sometimes some D's, but I wasn't a big reader. But I have always been a writer, Travis. And, back even when I was in kindergarten, I was writing short, scary stories. So I have always been writing, but nothing officially taught other than just regular English classes. It wasn't really until I got out of high school that I became like this voracious reader and just gobbled up everything I could, everything I missed. But if it was assigned to me, fuck you, I don't want to read it. But if I could pick it out, if I could pick it out, then yeah, I was all about
it. That's what I'm talking about. My biggest grade ever was like on the Chicago Bears. It's my favorite football team of all time, Walter Payton and everything, Dick Butkus. So that's like one of my biggest things was like Walter Payton was that, and I think a thing I did on Ed and Lorraine Warren. Because when you like it, you're passionate, right? It's what you do.
Yeah.
About my year, 97 or whatever. I've been into ghost hunting for a while. So
and you just brought up some inadvertent, really good advice. Write what you're passionate about, if you do want to write, or whatever it is you do. Do the thing that you really like, if you can.
It's less of a chore, ain't it?
Right. It becomes less of a chore if you write what you really are passionate about. And I love the paranormal, so I love writing about it. I script out all of my podcast episodes, and that's fun because I love the story that I'm writing,
Wow.
So I think that's another part that makes it a little bit easier. Like if I was doing what you were doing, like an autobiography, I'd be like, fuck this. Personally, I don't like my life a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what I'm trying to get to people is I talk about all my shit in the past between being dying in a car accident, being homeless, burying my mom, all that shit. Throw it into the book and saying instead of just giving it up, which I tried suicide, obviously didn't work, but here I am, and it's like, well, fucking A. I appreciate that, but I got a podcast that I started for shits and giggles. Now I get a weekly sponsor at $10 a week. I got people like fucking Brandon that give me fucking $15 per episode, and that's no shit. You check out my star. So I'm meeting good people. I'm meeting Hollywood. I met Sandy Johnson. She was a guest of mine. She was Mike Myers' first kill in the original Halloween. She was Mike Myers' sister. And she was also Miss Playboy in 1974. And now we're friends on Facebook and message each other. Happy Thanksgiving. I go, fuck me. I'm just a stoner from Maine. I'm talking to Sadie Johnson, Miss Playboy. Okay. So you know what? I know Mar's my friend, man. Which reminds me, real quick, before we get to the end, I usually ask my guests, it's a new thing I do now. You have any questions for me? I want you to play host. You have any question you want to ask me?
Oh, shit. I thought about this too. Damn it. Christina, if you're listening, message me. We're going to ask Adam something. Oh, we had a question to ask you.
Well, ask me two, but ask me one right now. What do you got? You got one for me.
Dang, what do I have for you? Oh, okay. Okay. This might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And you might not want to answer it, and I respect that. You might not want to answer it publicly.
I just jerked off before the show. What do you want? Let's say it.
What the fuck happened with Donnie?
Oh, you know what? I didn't want to fucking say it, but you know what, man? I'm not going to lie. I really makes me want to give up the whole. Okay, fuck it, right? I don't care. It's funny. I get more views the more honest I am, which is ironic. So I get Donnie Green on my show. I look up because you know me. That's what I do. I do digging. That's how I find Sandy Johnson. That's how I find Sarah French. That's how I find these people. I had Hannah Monroe on last week. She died in the movie Let's Fuck in the Woods. The shirt she wore while dying, it's covered in blood. She's mailing to me at no cost. It's going to be on my wall. There's no fucking the woods too. So fuck me. It's working. So Donnie Green, love the dude. Not really. I have him on my show. I look him up. I look on the John Campiano, the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. I love that guy.
And I see Donnie Green. So I'm sending Victor Pascal, all of them, which is Brandon something is his real name or whatever. Brian, I forget. All get invites. Donnie accepted with no time. I said, would you come on my show? This and that. I had him on my show about a year and a half ago. Everything was great. Pet Cemetery, Stephen King, blah, blah, blah. And the show, he goes, you know what? You're really passionate. He goes, I was thinking, I'm only getting hit up by the Ramones fans for singing the song in the movie. No one seems to care about Stephen King stuff. You really think I could do something? I go, I can get you some shows. No more. I've gotten them 2 shows. Now, hear me out. So he tells me, he goes, I'd love to sponsor your show. He sends me $1,000 check. I have it on my wall still. The thing of it signed. Everything is signed. And this is no shit. What's that say? Donnie Green.
Yeah.
They're right there. So he sent me stuff. It's my address on it. Come find me. I dare you. I got guns. Anyway, so he sends me shit and he sends me money. He goes, I want you to be my booking agent. I've never done it. Some guy from LA hit me up, blah, 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 blah. So then Heather tells him, my girl, you should trademark the name Marinko. So guess what he did for $2,500? He trademarked the fucking name. So I'm getting him all this.
And it wasn't trademarked already?
No. Donnie owns the rights now because of Heather and me. But we'll get to that in a second. So I get real quick. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it quick. It's a long story, but I'm trying to cut it. So I get him the thing in Bangor, as you saw, right? They had the whole Pet Cemetery reunion. I get him. And then he goes, well, I know Mike Tamro. He owns the truck in Jefferson, Maine. You want to come for a ride? He flew from Tampa, Florida. He drove the fuck down to pick me up in Maine. I met him in Bangor at Dice Hearts, where he was the pump jockey there. Stephen King and Mary Lambert met him there and wanted him to be the truck driver at Pet Cemetery. I met at Dice Hearts in Herman, Maine. We drove all the way to Jefferson in his truck, smoking a joint, kissing my butt, the whole 9. Great time. I got videos of it on my Facebook page, a YouTube channel. We pull up to the truck. I meet Mike, the whole 9. Yeah, we'll get you there. You get 20%, blah, 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 blah. Great. Manager's great. See the truck. I take pictures of the cab. This truck was used in the Pet Cemetery. You've seen the video. You've seen the pictures. Great. So everything goes on. I talked to Jay Cochran, all these guys from the Bangor thing. Great. So then I share literally about 2 weeks before the show, my cover photo was Arinco LLC. We own the rights. Donnie said I get 10%. Him and Mike both get fucking 40% or whatever it was. I can't think of the math. Whatever. I get the lowest percent, but I'm there. Haven't thought of it. Whatever. He paid the $2,500. I get keychains made. He goes, Mike Timro goes, I was never involved in this. I'm not going to the show. They messaged me from the show. They go, he's not coming. What kind of manager are you? You're a phony. You're a fraud. I go, oh my God. Donnie goes, I'm nothing with the truck. They don't want you there. You can't go. Dude, they went to the fucking thing. I didn't get a dime. He sold $2,000 worth of autographs because of me. And he owes me like $200. Oh, yeah. So I got screwed a little bit. So I blocked him. I'm not going to lie, man. Stephen King actor. I'm really fucking embarrassed by it.
Oh, don't be embarrassed. But
it's like, man. Bro. So I got him the show in Augusta next year with the truck. And guess who's not getting a dime of that? But I'll be there with Stacey Johnson. She played Pennywise in the It remake. She ripped Georgie's arm off his thing in the Jackson Street sewer drain. Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise. She played him too. She paid me to represent her. She said I get 10%. So we'll see. I booked her for that show too, man. I'm not a fraud. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Heather knows all about it. Heather's not impressed. My girl, man.
Yeah, there's no shame in telling it, man. And I appreciate you being vulnerable and
thank you for bringing it up. I didn't want to be a dink and bring it up, but dude,
thanks, Travis.
I kind of got burned in that, brother. Right?
Yeah, that sucks, man. Now, Christina did message me. Can I ask you the other question?
Of course, please do.
I don't think we've heard a full explanation on Travis. Good to see you, man. And I'll talk to you soon about the death experience.
Okay, I'll talk about that, but real quick too. So Donnie mails me a thing. He goes, "I don't have the $200 check for you, but I got an Arinco LLC shirt with your name embroidered in it and Heather's name in it, with a signed Pet Cemetery poster from the whole cast that I got given to me that I want to give to you. So, and I get the box. I never opened it. I go, where's your hotel? I brought it to the hotel in Bangor. He goes, me and my wife want to bring you to supper. I go, I just want my $200. And I want maybe an apology. Maybe we can work on things in the future. Never wrote me back, man. I befriended him, nothing for 2 weeks, so I blocked him. So I don't know, man. I'm not trying to get people to hate him, but I just don't know.
No. Oh, well, I mean, you haven't said anything, so I think you.
He made some money, bro. I see pictures of him in the truck there with all the motherfuckers from Pet Cemetery. And the guys from Bangor, Jay Cochran, said I'm banned from the show like I'm the culprit. I go, what?
What?
Oh, yeah.
The Comic-Con guys?
They blocked me. So anyway, but now I'm running the show in Augusta. Jeff's my client. He runs the show in Augusta, Jeff, with them.
Yeah.
He's paid me to represent him. He's my client.
That's awesome.
I get a booth for free. I'm doing anyway. So dying. My mom passed away. She went for blood work in a hotel. I came back and had supper going. I lived with her after my girlfriend kicked me out after 7 years for no reason. So I lived with her in Casco. My mom, she's a good shit. She didn't mind me getting high, all that shit. So I lived with her. She went to get blood work at CMMC, where Stephen King went to the hospital, where he got hit by a car in Lewiston. They used to hang people there.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the town square. And she died. She had a cardiac arrest right there. So I'm at home. I lost my shit, put my hand through the window, the whole nine. Anyway, I got bequeathed your car. And I got hit in the head on collision. You know what the Scarborough S-turns are?
I do.
Okay. I got hit in the head on collision. I came back from Bull Moose in Scarborough. I told Heather, I ordered a pizza, Little Caesars. I'll be there. I wake up in an ambulance with my pants cut off and a guy with paddles above me going, hey, there he is. Hey, wait. Hey, you with it? I'm like, what? I died for like 38 seconds. I got the paperwork somewhere. I don't know. And they paddled me back. I was in the ambulance. They go, you were hit. And they never found the guy that killed me. And I got the pictures of the car. And my insurance lapsed the day before, so I can get a dime. Good times. I got my wallet and cell phone out of the car amongst the seaweed and shit because I got knocked into the Nonsuch River. And people said, yeah, dude, my mom came to me. I told the guy, my mom told me to get out. She came to me. And people said you were telling jokes and stuff. And then when we came, you pretty much passed out. And that's when we get you back to life. But you crawled out of the car on your own, man. I'm going to try not to cry. Sorry. So it was rough, dude. I was in the hospital. It was during Corona. And I couldn't think of anybody's number. I was in the Central Maine Medical or the Portland Maine Medical Center with the helicopter pad. 3 hours, bro. And I finally thought I had this number. She came and got me. And I never get no visits from no family. It was Corona. I stayed in her bed for 3 months. Sold my mom's house. I moved up to the north, bought a trailer, $15,000, fully furnished. The girl left. She got cheated on, went to Massachusetts. I got a washer and dryer. I'm like, fuck me. I bought a car, bro, with my money. And now I'm a podcast host and a booking agent and a stoner from Maine that actually talks to people like Nomar. So I could be crying. Like I said, I was homeless for a little bit before the accident. I was in an RV and back at the Southern Maine Flea Market in Scarborough. I tried suicide a couple of times, overdosing. Never happened. But I'm here. And fucking A, man, 45, living life, and fucking A, brother.
Yeah, and you know, keep
sorry to bring it down. I don't mean to bring the show down.
Hey, you know, we asked about it, and it's a positive outcome because you know he survived.
John's donated to my book. He gave me $50 to put his name in my first book. I asked people, "Do you want to help me out?" I didn't have money for a while, and he donated $50. I got a job now. They cut my hours, but John, I ain't forgot about you in Scarborough, Maine. Your name's going on my book. I appreciate you for your donation.
Yeah, John's good shit.
Good. Maine's got good. Missy got us at the Fordine Fest last year with Heather. We sold some of her bracelets, Witch in Life Guide. I love my Maine people, Nomar. I love you. I appreciate you being on. We're going to go another 2 or 3 minutes here. Nomar, is there anything left out? Anything you want to talk? Where can we find you, brother?
Yeah, so Heather's flashed a couple of links across the screen, but I'll just say them really quick. Slevikstore.company.site. That's where you can get autographed books from me. I actually ship them out myself, and you'll get a bookmark and a sticker and all that cool stuff. But if you just type my name, Nomar Slevik, Slevik, into Google, all of my stuff will come up. And I have a podcast. It's called I Want to Believe. And they're scripted, you know, anywhere from a half hour to an hour long podcast where I tell stories. They're completely overproduced. There's music and songs and stuff. And so that's fun. I do cover some Maine stories, but it's not all Maine stuff. Black-eyed kids, haunted lighthouses, reincarnation, just a whole bunch of different stuff. Dogman stories.
We're going to touch on that. Black-eyed kids that come to your house, go let me in and shit. Oh, no, we could talk 4 hours, you and I. That's why I keep having you back, because we keep on going off subject.
And you know what? You don't hear a lot of Black Eyed Kids stuff in New England, but specifically Maine. You don't hear a ton. So if anybody's got any Black Eyed Kid stories from Maine, please hit me up. Send them my way. I'm working on a new book right now. It's called Humanoid Encounters, and it's all of these creepy entities that are human-like that have been seen throughout the state of Maine. That's the new book I'm working on right now, and it's going really well, and I'm really excited about it. I just been searching high and far for frogmen stories, and I found an amazing one that took place in northern Maine, and so I'm excited for people to hear that story.
Tell us about this coming up. This is a close one. Right in Bangor,
this is the Emporium, and you can get my books here if people are in the Bangor area. They can go to the Emporium. It's a new like spooky themed store. It's open 365, not just for spooky season. They're downtown Bangor. Really cool people. The lady that runs it, it's Katie and Nick, and Katie is a former newscaster on WABI, I think. And so her and her husband open up this shop, and it's a really cool shop, and they're selling my book, so it's really fun.
Oh man, I'm gonna give you a good deal. I want you to be part of the booking agency. We're gonna get you there this year. I gotta get you there, and you're one of my favorite authors, and I gotta get you there. And fucking, it was him and his old lady. That's him and his girl right there. They're a good team. They're into some weird shit, and that's how we like it. Nomar, is it cool if I grab 9 more minutes out of you? Let's make it an hour and a half. I'm ADHD. I like it even. Is that cool? I feel like I'm bugging you.
Yeah.
You're not busy?
No, please. No. I get
what I'm doing. 7
a.m.
So I go off. I'm a talker, brother. You know me. All right, good.
No, it's all good. It's all
John
good.
Gillis, appreciate you. I haven't forgot about you. I know you're quite on Facebook. Could you give me 50 bucks? Man, I ain't forgot about you, man. My little loaf rips. Toby and Travis Hartford. There's a lot of good Maine folks over here. I mean, Nomar, right? No one really talks to me. I don't know what. I worked with Chris Sanders for a while. Maybe I know people don't like him. I'm not with him anymore. He fucked me over too. So don't associate with that. I'm different. So please reach out to me, man. I don't have any friends in Maine. Nomar once in a while will spy on me in Bangor, but please reach out to me. I don't bite. Nick Cates. I know you guys. Come on now. Misty Lothrop. So
Missy and Richie, they're good people, and Toby and Travis, they're great, and John's awesome, and John's is associated with the Central Maine Ghost Hunters, and Dustin and Michael, and some of those guys seem like good people. I know Dustin, I don't know Michael, but
Michael Owen, right?
Yeah. Seems like a nice dude.
Chris Julian, a couple people are gonna check in.
Yeah, Chris Julian is amazing. Poor guy just like broke his leg, which is awful.
I saw that.
He and I hung out at Fort Knox, my girl and I and him, and his team. They were doing an event there, and we went to like take pictures and be a fly on the wall, and that was really, really fun to do.
There's a Fort Knox, Maine guys, the one with money and stuff in Tennessee, but there's one in Maine that's named after the General Henry Knox. On the other side of the river is Bucksport, which is Buck's tomb, with a witch's foot and his tombstone in there. Pretty wild area. Nomar, I gotta admit, you ever want me at 1 a.m, be like, hey, what are you doing next Saturday at 1 a.m? I'm like, hanging out with you. What's up? You ever need me, bro? Heather's pretty lenient. She got 2 kids. They're pretty much older. I have no kids of my own. I live close to you. You ever need me, bro? I would love to help you. I know it's wintertime in Maine. We're getting snow. You're getting ice, but I would love to be down, man. I feel like I don't know what it is. If people are intimidated by me or they just don't like me, but I would love to work with you or anybody next year. Let me know. Yeah, I'm willing to travel and be your whore. Use me and abuse me. What's this? I peek in your window. Brandon, you would come in I got my windows covered. I don't like people. I got stuck in the snowbank yesterday, and some people next door. I've been here for 2 years to come over. I first met my neighbors. Been here for 2 years, and I first met my neighbors. I just come inside and watch horror movies, and I'm quiet. I live a quiet life outside of Facebook, believe it or not. But.
Yeah, and same here. I love the quiet life. I'm a huge introvert. I dislike people.
Yep.
And
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's fine. I have a really good relationship with my television and my laptop.
Dude, let's change the subject. I'll go back to it. I let my guard down for Donnie. He knew my address. He came to pick me up. I thought he called me brother, gave me a hug, and then he does that. So it's hard when people. It's hard, bro. So I try to let people in, but it's like you got to be leery, otherwise, So I think people in the field get it. And I think you get it because you're out. Like, you went to Hackers Hill not for TikTok likes. You went for Hackers Hill for answers. You went alone just to absorb. That's what I dig. I went to a cemetery in LaGrange, Maine. I live by LaGrange.
I love LaGrange, yeah.
They had that big Orneville trail derailment last year. There's a
Oh, wow.
there's a grave on the side of the road, and there's a guy that says bomb squad died in action. Okay.
Wow.
I got a picture by his grave, bro. Bomb squad died in action. Why isn't he talked about?
Yeah.
You know, that's wild to me, right?
What's his story? You know, it's interesting. My girlfriend and I will do a thing. Obviously, when the weather is better, we did a lot of it this summer, but we'll find some interesting people in the state of Maine, and then we'll go to their gravesite and check out their gravesite, and we'll bring an obelisk or a spirit box with us and see if we can get any information. And we do once in a while, and it's really interesting, and it's also fun, and we pay our respects and all that good stuff.
You and her, the pictures you take of these places and the things you bring to light. Everybody gets Lizzie Borden, everybody gets a Conjuring House, but there's thousands of places that are going, hey, we had stuff. Bradford, Maine, right between Glenburn, Maine, and Dexter, Foxcroft. That's the birthplace of spruce chewing gum. The first ever chewing gum is Bradford.
Oh, no shit.
Look it up. Right on the side, birthplace of spruce chewing gum. That was before any sort of gum. I go to the one store there, they don't sell spruce gum. I go, that's what you're known for.
What the hell are you doing?
The guy that lived there sold it in Portland. I get it, but come on, guys. Bradford, Maine. There's a place, the first ever haunting in American history that's recorded is in Machiasport, 17-something. A guy and like 12 people saw his daughter in their living room. Machiasport, Maine. Google it. First ever haunting in American history. Machiasport, Maine, 17-something.
I have an ancillary story that's somewhat related to that.
Yes, so please do.
There's this gentleman named Reverend Abraham Cummings. And he was a gentleman back in the late 1800s that liked to investigate the paranormal. So he heard about Nellie Butler and the hauntings there. Yep. So he went to go check it out. And he talked to a lot of the townspeople, and they said that they would hear disembodied voices and all this stuff. So he talked to a lot of people. Yeah. But there was this one night, he stayed in the town for quite a while. And there was this one night where these two guys ran up to him. And they're like, Abraham, there's something weird in the field. You got to go check it out. It might be Nellie. And he's like, all right, boys, are you drunk? And and they're like, no, seriously. And he believed them. So he was like, all right, I'll go check it out. Yep. So he gets to the field. Again, this is late 1800s. He gets to the field and he sees this white glowing rock or boulder, or, that's what it looks like to him. And he's like, oh, what the hell is that? So he's looking at it. And then this big white glowing boulder starts to ascend. And so now it's hovering, like around the treetops. And he's like, what is this? And then this being comes out of it, floats down, and stands in front of him. And it's about 3 feet tall. And he says to it, you don't look like what people say Nellie Butler looked like. And right when he got done saying that, this thing shapeshifted and became like this 5 foot tall, feminine looking thing. And he said it had some sort of crown or something where there was lights shooting like out of her head. It was like a really bright crown or something. And the next thing he knew, he was back in the boarding house that he was staying at. And he looked around and there was nothing there. He was just like instantly transported back to like where he was staying. And so he runs outside and the glowing white rock thing is gone. And this weird female entity is gone. And he's like, what the hell happened? And so he wrote all of this down in this book that he eventually put out. Ooh. And he thought he might have seen the ghost of Nellie Butler. But the way that read to me was, I think dude saw a UFO. And I think he talked to some sort of shape-shifting alien or something.
I was it's not like a shapeshifter to me.
Yeah. And, this white glowing rock that ascended, it's fucking weird. And so to me, it read more extraterrestrial than paranormal,
If I can get another UFO guy on in a month or two, would you come on and be a special guest co-host?
Oh, sure, man. I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Fucking A. All right, a minute to go. Fucking A. I feel we go another 3 hours, but it's getting late. I got to work at 7 in the morning. People got to go. I get it. StreamYard's kicking me out. No more. Any last words? People can find you by your books. You've already said that. Anything else you want to say?
Just thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Dude, You've always been nothing but kind to me, a blast, a fellow manner that I dig and respect. And I love your work. And like I said, I'm not trying to be gay or weird. I just want to get closer in a weird way. But I don't, we're adults. I'm 45. I want to have an adult couple. I don't know anybody, Heather and I. And we'd love to get to know you and her. If you guys want to go out and get some supper sometime. Thank you so much, Brandon. Appreciate you checking in every fucking week from Virginia. Viper Paranormal, I get their hat and back. Nomar Slevik, guys, author, cryptozoologist, you name it. He does it. We're gonna get him back on. We'll get him on as a co-host. We'll get him on as a guest in the future. Thank you for coming on, Nomar. This will be up on YouTube. I'll tag you in it on the weekend. Sure. I'm heading down south after work tomorrow from Dover. I'm gonna head down south and see Heather for the weekend. I'll get it uploaded in the Orchard Beach. They got no snow down there, lucky cocksuckers. Nomar Slevik, UFOologist, author, the man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining
I appreciate
us,
it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. Historical Content Vodcast. I don't know who the guest is. Just tune in.